This is why you feel like crap.
This is why you feel like garbage. If we are dealing with hormonal imbalances and, the hormones aren't moving the way they should be, arising and lowering the way they should be, this is where the PMS is going to come in real hot.
It's like watching a 5-year-old have a full tantrum and not be able to control themselves. It is that horrific even to the body. And think about that stress. It's letting you know I was already here. So it's not a surprise.
This is Keep It Clear. Real conversations about skin, acne, and women's health without the overwhelm. Because you deserve answers that actually make sense. Today's episode starts now. I think it's hilarious that in a month, your skin can look like 3 different people, depending on what time of your cycle that you're in. It's like so many of our clients have been like, Katie, my skin is good for like 1.6 days of my cycle where it looks good. And then it's just going to be a hit or miss the rest. So I thought, Cris, it would be really important for us to do an entire episode on what's going on with your skin through different phases of your cycle.
Okay, we're breaking down the alter egos.
All the different alter egos.
Have to be, right? I get this. Not from the acne perspective, but I get it from the hair perspective, right? Because I get 6 weeks, twice a year, where my hair is just, the curls are curling. And then I just look like a shrub.
She just looks like a shrub.
I look like a shrub. So, I mean, if there's a hair cycle,
Cris has the hair cycle.
I need to move to Florida because I have great curls in Florida.
I would love to live in Florida. Any of our listeners that live in Florida, let Cris and I come live with you. We're great house guests.
My curls will thank you.
Cris is good at dishes. She's great at dishes.
Katie can cook.
I'll cook. We're a great team. Look at us.
Yeah.
Let us in.
Yeah, I clean. She cooks.
There we go.
Good.
Match made in heaven. So let's talk about the unpredictability of your skin throughout your cycle. And this is something that we often will get our clients to track is, okay, like alongside tracking your bowel movements and, all of those things, let's track your skin through your cycle so we can start making predictions on not only like what's happening with, when your breakout's going to come, but based on where you are in your cycle, it can actually give us clues into what is actually driving your breakout. So let's first, Cris, let's break down the different phases of your cycle. I'm going to give them a quick little like hormone one-on-one because I don't think any women learned this. I didn't learn this back in high school. It was just more like how to put a condom on a banana is what you learned in health class. You didn't learn about your actual menstrual cycle.
Kind of funny that they used a banana, but whatever.
Banana, actually, I think they had a wooden apparatus. But like, why do we need to know how to do that, first of all?
Not like a cucumber.
Yeah, like
because it'd be deflating, actually.
Yeah. I know, but it's like, isn't that funny that we learned about that in high school, but not like when day one of your period is? Because even to this day, we have clients coming in like their 30s and 40s, and they're confused on what day one of their menstrual cycle is. So let's break it down.
It is. So here's kind of what I would look at, right? We want to look at estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, cortisol. Most people don't even talk about cortisol because they just don't know. But we know estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. Those are foundational, core concepts. So estrogen, it's going to rise in the first half of your cycle, right? Supports skin hydration, collagen, healing. It gives that, we've heard the word glow. It gives the estrogenic glow. That's what it is. And this is why when people go through perimenopause and the estrogen starts to go down, that glow goes away, right? It's just the vibrancy isn't there so much. Then progesterone, it rises in the second half of ovulation, after ovulation, I should say. It changes the sebum, the texture, tightness of the pores. It's nice and beautiful. It's calming.
I love a little progesterone,
Well, if it's supposed to rise, just as a teaser, if it's supposed to rise in the second half of ovulation and it's calming, why do we have PMS? Let's talk about testosterone because every lady with jawline acne loves this, right? So this is around our ovulation cycle. So it definitely stimulates oil production, androgen receptor sites. Sometimes we can see that jawline in the chin, which people typically think that's where it is. I sometimes think maybe different, but I'm going to give the higher cheekbone area.
Okay.
Right? I'll give that, right? So really the main concept here is your skin is not reacting to one hormone. as much as we think it is. It's reacting to the ratio between them. And then that ratio that shifts every few days. And this is why we have all these alter egos. That's the best way to, they are. We don't like any of them.
I literally said to my husband last week when we were away, I was like, hey, just a heads up, my period's coming. So you know what that means. Because I've noticed just in the last few months that like my PMS has really intensified, my anxiety leading up to my period. So obviously I'll be getting a Dutch test to look at that.
Oh my goodness. Katie and her functional tests.
Katie and her functional tests.
Which means Cris and Katie's functional tests.
Hey, Cris, not sure what you're doing right now, but I got my test labs. What do you think?
Well, thanks for the heads up.
I'm such a big advocate that, you know, you don't want to coach yourself. Like I can go in and I can read them and I can do it, but we know I'm like a 0 to a 100 type of person. So I need Cris there to be like, hey, let's rein it back in. Just come on back in, Katie. That's what we're there for.
Yeah. Then since my beautiful perimenopause, I'm like -10. Just everything's like, huh.
And I think this is so, like, it's important when even, especially practitioners share, like, what they're going through hormonally, because, you know, you see practitioners and you're like, oh my gosh, they have it all together. All their health issues are great. Where we're just like you. We experience shifts and hormonal shifts and life shifts and things going on in our lives that we also have to go after.
Yeah, can confirm I do not.
I do not have it all together. Yeah. Cris and her peri has been a fun ride for us all.
Lordy, I'm going to write a book.
You should. You should write a book all about it. I will be, what's the foreword? I'll write the foreword. God. See? We're on one today. All right. Did we talk about testosterone?
Yeah.
Where was I? I was out to lunch.
Yeah, because I was talking about the jawline, the top. Right. I'll give it that.
Okay, yeah.
The only thing I would say is cortisol. Cortisol is really that wild card. It can hijack any phase. So when we say, hey, Cris, what's my root cause? And I'm like, stress. It's because of the cortisol implication. Cortisol is anti-inflammatory until we overuse it, and then it's pro-inflammatory. So it's about using our cortisol, right? There's interconnections between cortisol and estrogen, and for lack of better words, I'm not going to go into it. Just this is why we always look at the stressors, multifactorial issues within what your lifestyle has, right? So it's not about one thing. It's not about one supplement fixing it. It's not about going after and just giving black cohosh because we're low estrogen or, you know, high estrogen and dim. It's not about that. Remember, I just said it's about the ratios. It's about the factors of those ratios. And we really have to look at how the body's interplaying. It's not just about going and taking progesterone or progesterone or whatever it is we're taking these days.
All of the things. So let's now break it down phase by phase, because within your menstrual cycle, and we're going to say 28 days because it's the average cycle. Yours may be different. There is 2 halves of the cycle, but within those 2 halves, there's 4 phases. So day 1 of your menstrual cycle is the first day of bleed, not like spotting, not like, oh, I think my period's coming, like full period is here. That is day 1. On average, that will last about, 4 to 7 days for most people. The menstrual phase is actually within what's called the follicular phase, which is on average from day 1 to about day 13 up until ovulation. So follicular, I like to think follicular first, FF. Good way to remember it, right? You're welcome, everybody. Then your follicular phase is going to lead right up to pre-ovulation. Then you're going to be having ovulation anywhere from day 14 to 16. And then you have your luteal phase. So your luteal phase, it's actually been getting a lot of spotlight on social media lately. Like I can't go on social media without some type of reel about losing your mind in your luteal phase. Like I'm sorry for the things I said in my luteal. This is running from post-ovulation, so about day 17, all the way up to the end of your cycle or the day before your next period starts. So it's roughly about 2 weeks. So that's the 4 different phases. And now let's go in phase by phase. Let's start with menstrual phase.
All right. So it's typically, we like to call it a standard 5-day. Like I said, it's not about the spotting. So even after for spotting, sometimes it's still not part of the actual menstrual cycle, like for that phase. So hormonally, estrogen, progesterone, bam, they're low. They're just low. This is why sometimes if people are trying to measure estrogen, they'll ask you to do it on the 3rd day of bleeding if they just want to do that estrogen. So it's really neat because if we have estrogen dominance, it rears its head because it's not supposed to be there, right? When it comes to our skin, well, we don't drier, more reactive, redness, sensitive. It's really about when those breakouts, they like to linger. They like to, finish their life cycle here. They're hanging in. And like you're going to the mirror every single day going, what's happening here? What's happening here? What's happening here? Right? And you're watching the cycle, just hoping that it goes away. So when we look at this phase, it's usually the leftover cysts from the luteal phase. It's just kind of finishing up, taking its time, having a mojito. And then we have new ones. If the detoxification pathways, they're sluggish, if and when estrogen isn't clearing properly, and that's, again, previous cycle, right? So in this phase, we really go, okay, let's simplify that skincare, like that even that routine. Let's support the liver and the bowels. How many bowel movements do we need? 1 to 3 every single day to clear hormones. Just because we're having one every single day doesn't mean it's current, right? Potentially, we want to eat iron-rich foods. I even like to support digestive, maybe some digestive supplements in here so that we can get the iron-rich foods to do what we need to. Gentle movement. We're not like busting out and going into a triathlon at this point.
No,
And
your
I
body
say
needs
that
to
because
rest.
we have a lot of people. Yeah. You're
We have to remember-
bleeding.
Your body's tired.
Yeah, love some rest. When do you get rest? Forgive yourself for giving yourself rest. You're like, as soon as I start bleeding, I rest.
You're like, oh, yay.
Hibernate.
That should be it. Oh my God, yay, my period's here. I'm going to rest.
Yes, give yourself permission because we say, no, we have to keep going. We have to keep this schedule. We have to use a period tracker. Or
with my cycle almanac that I've worked so hard on. And you guys, can I just say, so I built out this cycle almanac. I'm all about the AI tools right now. I built out this really cool app that not only tracks your cycle and where you are, but it also teaches you about your different phase that you're in and also what foods you should be eating. So it's a full cycle syncing period tracker app. And it is so good that even Chris Brown was impressed on the first. Go, everybody. Look at me.
I love how you use that as a tool to be like, yep, check.
No, because I don't think you guys understand. I can count on one hand how many times over the last 6 years Chris has been impressed with something that I've done on the first go. I think it might be one. I think it's this one only.
This one was really cool because I was like, wow, this is better than Flow. This is better than Period Tracker. This is bringing all the customization in. This really just nailed what acne clients ask all the time.
Yeah, I wanted them to know what to be able to eat at the different phase of their cycle, the movements they need to be making, what's going on with their skin. I put face mapping in there. So if you want more information on my cycle almanac, go check the show notes. It's probably one of my favorite things that I've built this year.
Yeah, because when I say support liver and bowels, what does that mean to you? What does that really mean to the average person?
I got answers.
No,
Ask
right?
me, pick me.
And when clients come to me and their menses cycle, their period is all over the place, or they have debilitating cramps, or their flow is heavy, I go and I start supporting the liver through liver foods, through cycle syncing, right? And they're like, what the heck? Can I just take something? Not really, right? Because we're not addressing the support system. So, yeah. All right. But yeah, Katie, you can share that after. I didn't even mean to say that, but it just came out. So
Well, you know how
ta-da,
excited I am about my cycle
ta-da.
almanac. So
It
let
is.
shine.
It is. I'm going to wait till that's a full app on my phone. And
I know because I've just launched it, and my goal is to get it in the App Store. So that's the next step. But it's fully accessible on your phone and on your browser. But I would love to get it in the App Store. So that's my next step. I got to look into that when I have spare
We're
time.
converting ours. We're using this one because we are so.
I know. I'm not even using my Flow app anymore.
Right. And that's a great thing because we go and we test things and we check it out. And I mean, maybe I'm potentially a little bit hard on some of Katie's ideas.
Literally, guys, you don't understand. I don't think you realize how hard Chris is on me. If I really want someone to tell me the truth on something, I'm going to give it to Cris. So that way I get the full blown, unfiltered.
Well, it's because it's the bubble popping. It's like, okay, well, here's some other considerations. And did we look at this? And potentially down the road, what's the impact to here? I can't help it. It's what this thing does.
I'm grateful for it. I know. I'm grateful. So let me just tell you guys, she was impressed. So check it out.
Okay, well, phase 2, follicular.
Phase 2, follicular. So we're still in the follicular, right? Because your period is part of your follicular phase. So really what's happening here is your estrogen is starting to rise, right? Your progesterone's staying low and your estrogen's starting to rise. So, generally for most people, we find this is their good skin days. They're like, you know what? My skin's clearing up. I have that glow thing. Everything's are hydrated. It's calm. I have an even tone. This is generally like leading up to ovulation after your period is where it's going to be seen as like the best skin day. If we do have breakouts in this phase, in this follicular phase, there's generally something deeper going on, right? Maybe we have a gut dysbiosis where we have an imbalance of the good and bad bacteria and yeast in the gut. We have sluggish detox pathways, whether it's our bowel movement, it's our liver, it's our lymphatic system. Maybe we're dealing with some type of food sensitivities or that good old chronic stress and cortisol that we talked about that is driving up all of the things no matter where you're at in your cycle. So if, we are dealing with breakouts here, I want you to really start paying attention to your body. Even now start looking at the acne face mapping that we're so big on. So if you get the cycle almanac, it's actually in there and you can log. What's really cool is for the cycle almanac, you can log the location of your breakouts at specific days in your cycle to look for patterns. Or we also have our acne face mapping guide, which I'll put in the show notes as well, because you can be starting to get clues on where the breakouts are happening on the face and what's going on internally.
And remember, even in that liver or that clearance, that detoxification, this can be a buildup, right? From past phases. So this is why it's so important that we help nurture the liver. When we go into the third phase, ovulation, day 14 to 16, ish. And if you don't know, you can get ovulation strips and you can check that out, right? Especially if we're missing periods and we're not in a perimenopause, menopause state, these types of things. If, after post-pill, after childbirth, a lot of those sometimes, the menstrual cycle can be a little bit wonky. A lot of people, our clients say, no, that's just me in general.
But what's important to know about ovulation is that's actually the main event of your cycle. Your period is not the main event. The main event is ovulation, the releasing of the egg in order for conception to occur, whether you're wanting conception to happen, yes or no. The main event is ovulation. And oftentimes, if you are not ovulating, things, whether it's, like Cris said, the post-pill, the post-pregnancy, all those things, but even chronic stress can be a really big impact on ovulation.
This should be your horny goat phase.
Actually,
and I'm not talking about the herb, but
yeah, like high libido phase.
This is where you're like, hello?
This is where Frank usually has to hide and make sure I don't have my spicy books.
But you should naturally, because of the egg and the releasing, your body's putting all the hormones together to say, oh, well, guess what? In order for this to happen, I need a counterpart, and that's sperm, right? So this is why I call it the horny goat phase. So estrogen's peaking, testosterone bumps, then both drop. And that's if they're working well. They're working well. So this here, sometimes we can have called a ovulation glow. So you have your estrogen glow and you have an ovulation glow. Some women are going to break out here though. Sometimes it's chin and jaw, and that could be cyclical, that's fine. Naturally, because testosterone spikes and we have the androgen receptors. But again, top of the cheekbones, that's more of the chronic. Things aren't clearing, these types. Also, if we have like the oily skin, right? In the temples, right? These types of areas where it's saying, hey, things might not be clearing, or it might not have the cofactors to break down the fat hormones, which are your sex hormones. So androgen sensitivity can be common. If we have, we call it the PMOS now, which has replaced PCOS.
And everybody, Cris wants to tell you something about it.
Not happy with the name relaunch.
She is not happy with the name at all. Why is that, Cris?
Oh, polycystic ovary syndrome. Fine.
PCOS.
Right?
She's fine with it's the
I didn't
the
love it
abbreviation.
either because it just meant that you have cysts on your ovary and now you have androgen dominance, which is not. Now we go to the polyendocrine, love, but it's the acronym PMOS, piss me off syndrome. Like, I live in that every day. So what? Do I have androgen issues? Do I have insulin resistance?
How
do
long
I
do you
have
think
blood
the internet
sugar?
figures this one out, Cris? How long do you think till the internet figures this
I don't
acronym
know,
out?
but
It was her immediate reaction, you guys.
before you name things, please
Run it by
come
her.
to me.
She'll let
Come
you know.
to me. PMOS. If you have a teenager, you have probably and likely gotten a text, you're PMOing me. PMO.
I don't have teenagers yet, so that's why I had no idea what she's talking about.
Yes, PMO. Come on, everybody. Anyways, the name is better for what it's about, 110%.
But not the acronym.
Yeah, right? Because when we're in ovulation, yeah, we can get the resistance to the insulin, the blood sugar instabilities. But again, this is why we need to balance our proteins, fats, and fibers. Skin's going to react to testosterone bump more aggressively when the body is already running hot on androgens. Not if we're not. Now, if we have estrogen and androgen imbalance, we can also aggravate this. So what we want to do is we definitely need to support that blood glucose stability, meaning blood sugar. So like I said, proteins, fats, and fibers. Oh my gosh, please don't skip meals. Don't drink with meals. Let's not dilute anything we need in order for the cofactors of, zinc-rich foods, pumpkin seeds, right? However, and please, most pressing, this is where we need to check in with ourselves to say, what's changed in my routine? How am I feeling? Where's my stress levels? Because we don't need any additional fuel. This isn't not your hibernation. Phase 1 is hibernation. That's your path. It's all self-care. Just chill on the couch. Ovulation is definitely where we want to go, and we want movement. We want motion, but we don't need aggressiveness. Yeah. Come on, tell me you don't want to get stuff done in ovulation. I am so productive. Once upon a time when, I probably had a true ovulation cycle. Don't get me started. But I am telling you, in those days, give me a project. So watch. Are you very good? Are you driven? Are you I've got it? Yeah, you want to do it all. Just be careful that we're not driving up the stress response and overdoing it during this time. So pace yourself.
Absolutely. Then we lead into the fun phase, the old luteal phase.
I call it the Katie phase.
Yeah, I'm really working on this phase right now, you guys. Cris
Some
and I
people call it Katie. That's
45-minute talk on my anxiety pre-period the other day.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. So let's go through what's really happening here, right? This is where our progesterone should be rising. Mm-hmm. And should be peaking generally around day 21. Then both progesterone and estrogen drop really sharply right before your period.
This is why you feel like crap.
This is why you feel like garbage. If we are dealing with hormonal imbalances and, the hormones aren't moving the way they should be, arising and lowering the way they should be, this is where the PMS is going to come in real hot. This is where you're going to be angry and moody and weepy. Maybe you're dealing with some PMDD. Oh yeah, we've experienced a PMDD before. It is, and if you don't know what that is, premenstrual dysmorphic disorder, it is like PMS on steroids times 1,000.
It's like watching a 5-year-old have a full tantrum and not be able to control themselves. It is that horrific even to the body. And think about that stress on the body, right?
Right, and when you have PMS and you're being crazy, but you can't do anything about it because your hormones are in control, not you.
Honestly, it typically sounds like, I don't know why. And it's genuine before the next attack. Do you know what I mean? Of that. So you have really no idea.
So this is where if we're going to be having a lot of emotional symptoms, it's going on in here. And oh yeah, cravings, they're a big one. Ate all of the food. I ate all of the remaining Easter chocolate that we had last week. And we had a birthday party, 40th birthday for my husband at our house, and there was 25 children here. Like there's out of 6 people, 25 of them were kids. My pantry got raided, and I was seeing those little humans going and taking all my Easter chocolate. I was like, guys, what am I supposed to eat tomorrow? Okay. I love you all, but leave me at least 2. But yeah, this is where the cravings, right? You're stealing your kids' snacks. Looking for the leftover Halloween candy that's in a bin somewhere. And your skin, this is where progesterone is starting to thicken that sebum, right? So we're getting tightened pores. We're getting oil that's getting trapped more easily, which is going to be leading to breakouts. And then that way, if we're dealing with stress and blood sugar instability and all of those things, that's also going to be impacting our sebum production. Then our estrogen is going to be dropping, and our skin might be losing a little bit of hydration and our barrier strength. And then that drop of both hormones right before a period is often when those deep, painful, cystic, hormonal acne-like breakouts will happen. Some people will get them on their face. Some people may get them on their shoulders or their back.
Yeah, it's going to happen. However, we're thinking testosterone on it right now. I guarantee you.
Yeah, everybody's like, oh, it's my testosterone. We're like, okay.
However, jawline and chin, that's a classic hormone panel. Like, we'll give it to you. Like, there's other implications in the face mapping, but whatever. That's estrogen dominance more often. Low progesterone. We can still have androgen sensitivity, but what are we doing in that time, right? With the cravings, are we balancing our foods? Are we driving up insulin? Are we driving up cortisol, right? Sluggish hormone detox. Again, previous cycle. It's not about just the one thing. We want to really look at, what about around the mouth? Gut related. But again, if we're eating more sugar or processed food during that PMS craving, we're going to trigger it because the body's already compromised. The body's not having hormonal imbalances without other things already happening.
Right. Like, remember that gut dysbiosis we talked about, where too much bad bacteria and yeast? There's a unique subset of microbes in your gut called the estrobolome, which helps to metabolize your estrogen. So if your gut is imbalanced, your estrogen will be struggling. And if you're not pooping every single day, guess how your body gets excess estrogen out? Through your poop.
What I really think is sexy about this phase is the hidden driver. And what I mean is this phase amplifies whatever imbalance is already there. It's letting you know I was already here. So it's not a surprise. It's fun here because, Katie, you're like, oh, I'm going to have my period. I'm like, Paige and I don't talk to you. And then, we're like, wave the white flag when it's safe. Thing is we know it's coming, don't we? We just don't really think about it and stop and go, wait, I already had that imbalance. What do I need to do? Because if our gut is off, we're going to feel it in the luteal phase. If blood sugar is unstable and it's like all over the place, whatever, it's going to show up for sure on your skin. Right? Like you said, even in the shoulders, the back, these types of things. The luteal phase is really a stress test for our whole body system.
Yes, I think that's the best analogy that you can give it.
This is not where we're like pumping iron. This is where we're doing progressive resistance, I would say. This is where we're definitely getting out and walking, right? Resetting that vagal tone, doing the deep breathing, doing yoga if you want, right? Magnesium, sleep, fiber. We're trying to clear hormones. Are we pooping? Are we hydrated, right? So that we can do all these things. Less alcohol, sorry, but true. And yet we crave alcohol more in this phase.
Well, because you're like, I am so stressed, I'm going to murder somebody.
And sugar and the breakdown. There's also neurotransmitters, right? Sometimes we just really want that dopamine rush, right? We need that stress load to lower if possible. I mean, seed cycle really, that's something that we've talked about over time, the pumpkin and the flax, follicular, sesame, sunflower, luteal. Those potentially are options as well. If people have food sensitivity, sometimes they just feel very reactive. So go back to your stress. I cannot say that enough. Everything's stress-induced, I am telling you.
Everything. I think it's hard for people to I don't think maybe I don't think wrap the head around it, but just really accept it, right? Because they're always like, no, I need the supplement, I need the food. What do I need to be taking? What do I need to be doing? And we're like, listen, it's not like that's one part of it. You can be doing all of that, but if you aren't looking at your stress, it is going to be near impossible to get the health results you want, not just your skin, but your health as a whole.
Especially day 24 to 28 on just a regular cycle. Because this is that chronic cycle-driven acne. So estrogen, progesterone crashing. Liver's working overtime to clear the cycle's hormones. The gut needs to really eliminate. So bowels, right? Nervous system, a little more sensitive, aren't we, ladies? It's not our fault. It's the phase. So next time your partner says, what's going on? It's the phase, right?
I always think like if a woman's ever up for murdering her husband, a key question should be, was she in her luteal phase? And if they were like, yeah, you should be like, you know what, let's cut her some slack.
Oh, Frank, run.
So I swear.
I'm just going on record that I did not partake in that. So
I'm saying hypothetically, everybody.
Yeah,
but I'm sure there's
of
at
course.
least one wife out there being like, no, girl, I know what you mean. I got you.
What Katie really means is that stress hits you hard here. This is where it feels like we're digging that hole we can't get out, right? We're not seeing any light at the end of the tunnel sometimes. So just, and again, that blood sugar. So we've already said this many, many times in so many podcasts, but I'm not kidding. If we want to take magnesium and it fits, take it before bed, right? Get the cruciferous vegetables in. Watch what is ramping up your cortisol and your adrenaline, like the things like the caffeines and the alcohols and the sugars. So it doesn't mean you don't eat. Like I want you to eat yams, dark chocolate during this phase, 100%, right? Give in to the support system of that body. It's not about nothing. It's seriously about just breaking it down, going, oh, this makes sense why I'm here, and not excusing it. Well, it's just PMS. I always get PMS. Why? Because I just told you that your PMS is a precursor. So it's no longer an excuse because now you know. So let's get rid of it.
Oh, I know, Cris. We know mine is from chronic stress. Messing with my progesterone.
Hence PMDD. You've been very open about the anxiety and stuff like that and the PMDD. I swear to goodness, my eldest has it. But hers is all about blood sugar instability. And I see the androgens, and hers is very much around there. And I can tell that. But there's also an estrogen dominance, right? Like that's the interplay. So it's very intricate, your body.
It's incredible. Like when you start to get into the nitty gritty and you understand how intricate in what's the word that I can't pronounce today? I'm just going to skip it.
I'm actually just enjoying this for a second because this never happens.
This literally never happens.
Intricate?
Intricate. Thank you, everybody.
There's my journalism degree. For pausing because I just wanted to live in that moment for a second.
My journalism degree on my wall is about to fall off of that one. But it's really incredible, right? I love when our clients come like, oh my gosh, I've learned so much about my body that I never knew, because you're like, when women are in their 30s and 40s and 50s, they're learning about these things for the very first time ever because we've never been taught, and you understand how complex the body really is. And that's why a simple probiotic isn't going to clear your skin and get rid of all of your hormonal symptoms. You really have to be looking at this web of what's going on and start peeling back the layers and reminding yourself this is going to take time. This is not, I'm going to take magnesium for a week and all of my issues are going to be gone. Like this can take months and months and months, and sometimes it can take a year or two. So you need to be giving your body the time, patience, and consistency that it needs, and not rushing through the process and thinking, oh my gosh, this is taking too long. It's not working. It's working. It's just not working as quick as you want it to.
And it's the bottom of the barrel body systems, right? The body doesn't care for reproducing. Now we do use hormones to help nurture, massage, advance, whatever. But again, that cycle-driven acne, it gets blamed on hormones when often it's everything we talked about. That's the issue, right? That gut dysbiosis, the poor liver detox, sluggish bowels, blood sugar dysregulation, post-pill recalibration even, right? PMOS, which I will never mess that up. But again, that androgen excess. What else is going on? So I get it. I'll give it that your hormones are there, but what's going on with your bile? What's going on in your fat emulsification? What's going on with your intake? What types are you intaking, right? And again, because all of this is a stress driver, 60% of your brain, if it's, fueling on fats and we can't utilize it, brain fog, short-term memory, long-term memory out the window, right? Fumbling for words, which I thoroughly enjoyed today. Anything like this, but again, when we're stressed, the body cannot even digest. So always go back to the basics, please.
Mm-hmm. Back to the basics, the foundation, the unsexy, boring stuff that nobody thinks is going to move the needle.
Which
that does.
I can promise it does.
It does. And if you need that, remember we have Clear Skin in 30 days. It teaches you how to do this it holds your hand and walks you through it step by step. I think the combination of Clear Skin in 30 days and the Cycle Almanac that we have is such a powerful tool together.
Oh, I never even thought about those two together.
I know.
Hello?
Those two together would be so good because you're getting the foundation of everything we just talked about. Mm-hmm. And then you're also getting the tracking tool
Which keeps you out of the weeds.
It does. It allows, and I think what's also good is it allows you something to focus on because acne sufferers need something to be doing because if they're not doing something, they feel like they're not doing enough. So this is why, you need to be tracking things like when and where are your breakouts? How are your bowel movements? How's your energy, your sleep, your mood, your cravings? You need to be tracking this over 2 to 3 cycles at minimum so that way you can really have clear patterns. And you could be seeing I notice every time on day X of my cycle, I'm getting breakouts on my chin. So we can really start to make those patterns to understand what's happening inside. And that's exactly what I did in the Cycle Almanac is there's a daily check-in tool. And after, you have a few cycles in there, it's going to give you reports and you're able to track based on location where your breakouts are. And it's going to start analyzing patterns for you as well. It allows you to really see what is going on. Like the Cycle Almanac is the perfect period tracker for people with acne because it is taking that into account as well as telling you what to eat and how to move your body and the type of rest you need based where you are in your cycle.
I'll even say, even if you don't have acne, you could still use it because you could just omit the acne part. Like I went through it.
She did. And we know she likes it, guys.
I do.
Yeah,
it's pretty. And there was only a little bit of lilac, so it's fine.
Guys, you don't even want to know what I had to go through with this. Like, if you haven't noticed, we fully rebranded KSW, like a whole new look, new vibe, new color palette. And when I had presented it to Cris, there was the original lilac from our last palette in it. And she was like, listen, I'm going to vomit. We can't keep that in. It doesn't work with a new palette.
It doesn't.
I agree with you now that I looked at it from a different lens. So we got rid of it. That's why we have mauve, a deep jeweled purple. It was a comparison. So just kind of tie this all together as we finish up. You have to remember that your cycle is not the enemy here. Your skin is not the enemy. Your cycle and your skin are giving you clues and information as to what's going on in your body. And you need to start using that to listen. Because the breakouts and the symptoms that are showing up every single month is your body telling you exactly what is going on. Instead of ignoring it, I really want you to start listening so we can stop guessing and start supporting the body with what it needs.
100%. It is not what you're experiencing now doesn't mean it needs to be your future. Even if you've been dealing with it a decade. So slow with thought. You know what I mean? I know people don't like that, but slow and with thought is really how the acne does move the needle,
Yep.
And then we get rid of it.
And then we're feeling better. So remember,
feeling better.
Go and check the show notes because I have the link to the Cycle Almanac and Clear Skin in 30 days. And of course, anything else we mentioned in the show. And that's it for us here at Keep It Clear. We will see you next week.